What is going on, guys? And welcome to another live stream here on Sunday. This is Window Tinting Business, where we strive to inform, inspire, and improve you as a professional. My name is Patrick. I'm a full-time window tinter, instructor, and consultant. Now, if you're interested in window tinting as a side job to improve your current skills or as a full-on career, start right now by subscribing to the channel. If you're watching the rebroadcast, there should be a blue box in the bottom left-hand corner, or excuse me, bottom right-hand corner, that you can go ahead and subscribe. Also, so today, I don't have a real basic general topic. We're just going to be doing a simple Q&A just like we did last week, and I think I'll start pulling like some topics to go over, but like I said, I'm still working on my live stream setup, so I can't be very interactive that way just yet. So while I just have the phone, I'm just going to try to keep it as simple as I can. And also, just we're waiting for people to get into here. It looks like we do have a few people already in. I'm going to pull up my chats here so I can see you guys talking. Take a moment to go ahead and share the live stream on your social media or anyone else that might benefit from it. I'm going to go ahead and do the same as well. Looks like we're running pretty good here. I'm going to pull up my chats. There we go. There we go. Okay, looks like everything's good. Everything's good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take a minute just to, like I said, just to share this live stream, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So just take a minute here. All right. All right, now we got it. Looks like we got a couple other people in here. How's it going, guys? Let me pull up my chat so I can actually see you guys talk. There we go. There we go. If you guys are joining us through the live stream, just comment below. Let me know where you guys are coming from, because I love to know where you guys are at. I know I have a lot of people out in California, Texas, Florida, some international as well. So comment below and let me know what you guys are doing and where you guys are at. I do want to let you know that Super Chat is available. If you guys don't know what Super Chat is, it's basically a way to donate to the channel, and all proceeds do go to support the channel. One of the big purchases I'm looking to get is a new laptop so that I can get, like I said, so I can get a little bit more interactive on a laptop, that I can show you my screen, and I can show you videos, and you guys can actually see and read the chat on the side of the screen also. Just some cool stuff that we can do, but I just need a little bit more better equipment. So if you want to, it's not a requirement here. Also, last thing, if you are on Facebook and you haven't joined our group yet, search Window Tinting Business, the group. We are just a little over 1,200 members right now. So I do this weekly live chat, plus I also I upload other videos as well, typically once a week also. But if I'm in the shop and I'm just running and gunning, sometimes I'll just set up the camera and get everything going, and I'll live stream via Facebook. And I was also looking at some live stream stuff capabilities on Facebook as well, and I might be doing some of those things also. So if you're not in the group, go ahead and join that group as well. All right. All right, first question here, Dale Libfrid, I hope I'm saying that correctly here, is how do you deal with dot matrix? And if you guys have joined our Q&A sessions before, some of these things, some of the questions might be a little redundant, so just bear with us. Everyone's at different learning levels. Some people are just breaking into the industry and don't know anything, and other people have been in it for 4 or 5 or 6 years or 20 years. So just be patient. But to answer your question with dot matrix, What you're probably meaning is like, why can't you lay it down? Why can't you lay the film on the dot matrix down? Just because film isn't designed to stick to the dot matrix. The ceramic coating is what you're seeing. It's typically only sticks to the glass. So just a quick thing, if you wanted to, you can hit it with some triple zero steel wool. You can hit it with some alcohol. Some people like using Elmer's glue, like the clear Elmer's glue, and lay it down that way. Me personally, unless it's like a really big matrix dot. I mean, if it's like one of the 1/8 inch matrix dots, then I would just leave it alone, to be honest. If not, it's just going to be more time consuming than it needs to be. Okay. Germal Thomas. I use a 1-ply film, switch to a 1.5 ply. It doesn't seem to stick as well at the bottom of where the tint goes behind the seals. Okay. I have worked with 1-ply film, and I've worked, most films are 1.5 to 2 mils. The 1 mil, I've only gotten it from one supplier, and I can't even remember the name of the supplier, but I hate working with it. I'll be very honest with you. It's super flimsy. Side windows are okay, but when you're working with the stuff on the back window, you need a little rigidity in the film, especially if you're Frankensteining to get in. If it's too thin, like that 1 mil stuff is super thin, it's easy to crease and just difficult to work with. So that's typically your like economy line that you purchase from the manufacturer. I would stick with a general like 1.5 to 2 mil thick film. Let's see here. You're saying that it doesn't stick the same. It should. The amount of adhesive that they put on it, whether it's 1 mil or 1.5 or 2 mil, it shouldn't change. So what it could be, behind the seals, is it could be dirt and contamination that are behind the bottom. I'm assuming you're talking about the window sills on the bottom of the window. There could be trash or dirt or lint behind there, so that's stopping it from sticking where it needs to stick. So to be honest, probably watch your cleaning process. Make sure you give it a good flood out at the very tail end right before you install your film, and give it a spray. If you're top loading, give it a spray. Once you roll the window up, give it a spray on the very bottom just to kind of flush out any other contaminants. That should help you. If it's still not sticking, your slip solution may be a little too slippery. Cut back on the soap and it could help. Yeah, so it could help. Tuck or cut around the tail lights. 95% of the time, I don't cut the tail light out. So whether I'm hand cutting or if I'm using a plotter, I'll keep the tail light in. And it's just one consistent piece of film. Only reason why is because when you cut the tail light out, when you're squeegeeing, you have to keep mindful where the cuts are. If you go too hard of an angle in one particular way or other way, it's very susceptible to creasing where the cutout is. So if you are cutting out the tail light or someone is totally insistent of it, I would just be very careful. Like if the cutout is like this, yeah, you want to take your squeegee and go on top, go with the film. You don't want to kind of go against it and butt up against the film, or else you'll crease it. So just be kind of very careful about it. To be honest, most cars have at least a ½ inch. The only cars that have like a real pain in the butt tail light is maybe like a Buick LaCrosse is pretty deep in there, and other cars like Jettas and Passats, they're really deep and really narrow. But besides that, I just find it more cumbersome and more of a pain to work with. I just keep the taillights in. Third brake light, yeah. The Lexus The Lexus GS400. That's his name. Yeah. The third brake light. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And don't forget that some third brake lights do come out. BMWs, I have a video about it. How to take out a third brake light. Altimas are super easy. And a number of different car manufacturers, you can pop out the third brake light, whether it's just by clips or you go in the trunk and unscrew the screws and just take it out completely. And if you need to do that to make your life a little bit easier, then yeah, I would suggest that as well. If you guys are just joining us in the live stream, my name is Patrick. Again, this is Window Tinting Business, and we're just doing a simple Q&A today. We're doing just general questions. If you guys have some questions in regards to the industry, tint, how to tint, other little questions that you don't know, go ahead and hop on here and throw your questions down in the comments below. If you guys are watching the rebroadcast, make sure to check us out every Sunday. We're doing these live streams, and I might possibly do one here and then hop on our Facebook group and do another one over there, because I can actually do it on my laptop there. I don't know why, but I can, I guess. So I still have to test it out and kind of see the quality of it and see if it's worth doing. But yeah, let's keep on going. Next question here. Okay, Jermal Thomas, he asked a secondary question. He's having a problem with his window film sticking on the very bottom of the windows. He said he keeps getting finger bubbles. I clean it with orange tri-edge. Okay, cool. Okay, so you might have a shrink issue. You might not be shrinking it enough. If you don't shrink the film at all and you're just laying it on the cars on the side windows, you can do that. That's what I do. Every now and then you're going to have to put some heat on it to shrink a little finger here and there. But it's the way that you lay the film that's very important. If you're top loading and you're not shrinking, if you're just giving a swipe on the very top and then on the bottom, what you're doing is you're tightening the top and the sides, so you're bunching the excess film here. So if you're not shrinking and you're installing windows, side windows, what I would suggest is, instead of starting like doing a full sweep at the top, what I would do is if here's the window, I would start in the middle and go from the middle up and out, so you're kind of spreading the film as you install it, instead of like tucking the top and the bottom and then just pushing everything down. That's what you're getting. If you do get that and you get a finger there, what I would do is I would just get a hard card and I'd probably wrap it with some Teflon tape, and I would put some heat on there, pull the seal back, hit some get the heat gun and put some heat on that finger and just lay it down. It should lay down. If it's binding on you, then maybe the film is sideways, so make sure the film is in the proper direction, up and down, in the direction that you want to shrink, of course. But I hope that helped. Let's see, next question here. What do you think of 3M FX Premium? I don't know if I should stay or change film. I can't really answer that question 100% just because I've never actually worked with 3M. I've worked with a number of different films, a lot of sample films, but major lines that I've worked with that I've spent sufficient time with is Max Pro, Johnson, and Lumar. So I don't know. I know that 3M is kind of like a Lumar. It's you're paying a lot for the name and the brand, and it gets pricey. So I would just, my question, if I was thinking about switching films, is why am I switching films? Is it difficult to work with? Is the price not right? Are you not being able to charge enough for what you're paying for the film, just because it's just eating a lot of your profits up? I mean, it really just depends on the situation that you're at. For a good example, I started with Max Pro. It's an okay film, it's all right, but when about 6 months, 9 months into it, I did a Dodge Dart. I think it was like a 94 or something like that, and the back is basically a bubble. And it could probably have been me because I was still learning how to shrink and getting used to it. Or it could have been the film, but the film kept binding on me and heat creasing no matter what I did. I tried dry, I tried wet, I tried every trick in the book. I should probably try them again just to kind of see if it was me or the film, but that's why I switched over from them to using either Johnson or Lumar. So it really just depends on the situation that you're in and what is hindering you, what's stopping you. If it's the price point, maybe keep that line in and keep it at a higher markup, and then just get a secondary line in your shop or in your portfolio that you can offer people at a more affordable rate. So now you kind of have like a good, better, best situation. So, wow. Stephen Holl, what's going on, man? From the UK, Manchester. That's awesome. I do know that we have some guys from the UK. A lot of guys from Canada, some from Mexico, Malaysia. I gotta stop this clicking. I have a problem with that because I know it's getting picked up. Sorry, that clicking is annoying. I apologize. So obviously awesome. Stephen Holl, what time is it over there? I'm just kind of curious because I got all my stuff, so I can't really look it up here. But I'm just curious what time it is. What temperature do you shrink at? Stephen Hall asked, what temperature do I shrink at? I use a standard Wagner gun. You can get them over at Home Depot or Lowe's. And I don't use the digital Wagner gun. I use just the basic, the off, medium, and high. And that's it. And I believe the high, I always keep it on high. I never put it on medium. and I believe it's at 1100 degrees. 1845, so minus 12, what is that, 6:45? Sweet. 6:45 p.m. That's awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us and hopping aboard. Hope everything's all right over there. But yeah, I use a Wagner heat gun, like I said, Mr. Holl, and I do, is at 1100 degrees, just whatever kind of heat gun you're using, whether it's a Wagner, whether it's, the Wagners are actually a little bit slower on the push, the air push. The heat is fine, but there are other guns, the heat guns, that have a lot more and faster air pushes. I believe one was from Home Depot, I think the Black & Decker. It was like an all orange, and you'll see it actually in some of my older videos when I was up in Alabama. That heat gun was phenomenal. Now, it was $60-something, but that heat gun lasted a while. I mean, it went through the ringer. I ran it over a couple times. You drop it, things happen, but that heat gun, and I should look it up and see what it was, but that heat gun had a lot of heat and it had a lot of air push, so it makes it a lot faster. With the heat gun that I have, sometimes it's a little bit slower, and you know, but it is what it is. You kind of work with what you have and just be consistent with what you're working with. If you have a particular heat gun, because you'll know and you'll get used to how close or how far you need your heat from your film before you're either not shrinking it or burning it, essentially. All right, Danny Ocean had questions. Can you use window tint to tint a car, to tint car taillights and headlights? I've seen it done, but it's not necessarily designed for that. Some headlights, I believe like Cadillacs, they have like super flat, or like Chevy Silverado front headlights. Those are like super flat. There's nothing wrong with it. You could probably do it. It's not really designed for it. But check out like Oracle 8300. Luminex is another product that I used. That that it's a much thicker. It's like an 8mm. It's like super thick, and it's more rubbery, and it can stretch and mold to other places. Not just it stretches a lot better than your typical standard window film. Plus, your window film can only stretch up and down, like the Oracle 8300 or the Luminex. It's solid products, and they're stretchable, and you can move them in all kinds of different directions. There are actually some really great like artist type stuff, people out there that can do that with that material. For me, it's a kind of difficult. There's some cars that I'm like, it's got to be pretty easy for me to lay down a Luminex or an 8300 if I'm going to do headlights or taillights, just because it is time consuming, in my opinion. But some people are fast with it, and they're naturals with it. So. Australia, Europe, what is going on? Let's see here. Now it's 1941. I gotta do the math. We're like on the metric system, right? So 1940. We don't use, we call that military time. So we don't say 1951. We just say, what do we say? 7:41. Yeah. PM. All right, Stephen Hall had questions. Do you use slip to push the film under the window seals on the driver's door windows? So when I am, no kangaroo in Australia, when I'm tinting front windows, typically, like I said, if you guys haven't watched this video, you guys don't know my style. I used to be a top loader, but now I primarily choose bottom loading if I can do it. If it's not an option, then I don't. But I typically don't have a windowsill to mess with because I usually take them out. But in your situation, if the seals were still in there, what I do is I'll clean off and I'll squeegee the window, and I'll flush out the sides, and then I'll flush out the bottom really well. And then if I top load, I'll top load the top half, roll the window up, pull the film back a little bit, and spray right where the seal is. But because you flushed it out before and you're giving it another spray, and you wet the film, it should be more than slippery enough to be able to slide the film between the seal and the window for a good clean installation. If it's not, you might not be using enough soap in your slip solution, or it's you're just not getting it wet. You're not flushing out, you're not getting it slippery enough. So, yep, that is that here. Ray Mandapat, I hope I'm saying that right. He says, do you use a plotter? If so, which brand and software? Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you for being so kind. Yes, I do. I see that pen again. That pen again. It's down. It's off. Okay, so I do use a plotter at the shop now. I used the plotter before when I first started. I did not use a plotter because I didn't have $5,000 to buy a brand new plotter, so I just had these guys. But I can do both. I have worked on a Jaguar plotter, and I have worked with the Roland. On the Jaguar, I was using film design. Jaguar, I didn't have a problem with it, but it was at the shop already, so I didn't have any manuals or anything like that. So if you don't know anything about the plotter, it's kind of hard. You're gonna have to look it up. The Roland is a little bit more user-friendly, in my opinion. In regards to the software, I would say film design and precision cut are both good. They both cost a monthly amount, but that's really irrelevant because once you get a plotter, you're going to double your workflow. If you're doing 3 cars a day, you're going to be able to do 6 to 7 cars a day. So that's irrelevant because it pays for itself. I do know that if you don't have internet, then I'm pretty sure you can't use precision cut. You have to have an internet connection at least to be able to update the patterns. But I know for a fact film design it uploads, I think, like once a week or once a month or whatever it does. It automatically does it, but it keeps it locally on your computer. So if you run out of internet or you don't have the internet, you can still access those files and you can still use the plotter. So if I had a choice, I'd probably still use precision cut, I'll be honest. But the GX400 for sure for a plotter, and then I mean all pretty much software is pretty much the same. They're trying to get it as close as possible. They're not all perfect, but that's my opinion on that. All right. Alex Ortiz asked, the 2006 Chrysler 300, do you remove the rear deck? I'm assuming you're asking for like the back window. I don't remove any back windows for back window installations. I saw my old boss used to do it on like, I think it was an Impala, I forget what it was, to be honest. It was an older car, and he removed like half the car in the back end. It was nuts. But no, I don't remove anything. But the 300s, if you did see I have a panel pulling video on the 300. I pulled the seals on the front doors, and I removed the door completely on the back doors for the sides. And you can go ahead and check out that video if you want to see other things that you can do and how to do that. But for the back window, I just Frankenstein it in, or reverse roll it if you're comfortable with reverse rolling. Michael White asked me, do you do any paint protection film application or PPF? If you guys don't know what paint protection is, it is an up-and-coming thing. And it's been around for years, and they've had, I think it was like the 4th or 5th year here at the International Window Film Conference in Tintoff. The division's getting bigger and bigger. If you guys don't know what paint protection is, it's basically a really thick, clear film that goes either on your whole hood, partial hood, fenders. It basically protects the front end of the car from wind, impact, sand, dirt, and keeps the paint protected, hence paint protection. But if you guys don't know about paint protection, it would be an awesome thing to learn. I am actually going to the Lumar, which is kind of funny. I was at the, what was I doing this morning? Oh, I was doing some side work. So, I mean, I just did a couple roll-ups and a couple other jobs this morning. I just got back a little bit, so that's why I'm like Lumar geared out. So, but I'm going to their training facility up in Virginia to go ahead and learn PPF, which is going to be really, really awesome. And it's just another lineup that you guys can put in your services. The more things you can do, I know shops that just do window tint, and that's totally fine. That's good. But I know other shops that really diversify their business with either spray and bed liners or headlight and taillight tinting, vehicle wraps, PPF, a lot of stuff that are automotive aftermarket related. Obviously, you don't want to be offering window tint and dental work. I don't know, something totally off the wall, like not related at all. So you kind of want to keep it related. But yeah, and heck, I think just to do a basic like front, like partial hood, fenders, mirrors, door cups, and edge guards, I think you can make like $1,500 or something like that. It's insane. If you're working with a dealership, you can get some decent cheddar off of it. And if you're offering it as a service through a shop, you can definitely make some money off of it. It does take some time. But if you ever see someone or watch anyone do it, Rick Coslow, he's a phenomenal tinter and paint protection installer here in the local area. He is phenomenal. If you guys watched, I believe I had a video of him Or check out Window Tinting Business. I have a video of him installing a hood competing this past year. So it's phenomenal if you guys haven't ever seen it be done, and it's patience and whatnot. But I mean, you can make some money. Sorry, I run into some tangents sometimes, so I apologize. All right, here. Do you use Johnson's baby shampoo to make your slip lotion? If so, how much do you use? Pint/liter. Thanks. I do use Johnson's. Some people say that you can use the Dollar General or Family Dollar brand, the generic or the Equate brand. I don't know if you guys have that over in the UK, but it's just the generic brand of Johnson's. I've never used it before. I know people that have done tests with the other stuff to see. I'm just kind of a snob sometimes, and I'm a creature of habit. I've always used Johnson's, so I'll always continue to use Johnson's. It would take a lot for me to break and like use Dawn or a generic line or something else. I don't know. Just something I've always done. But for me, I use the Junior pump, so it's a small handheld pump sprayer, and you've probably seen it in some of my videos. And I'll fill it up to the 2.5 line, and then what I'll do is I'll take a Johnson baby shampoo bottle and I'll flip it over and squeeze for 3 seconds and then be done. So 2.5 liters to 3 seconds of squeeze, and I've never actually measured it out, but I know that's how much I use. If you guys have questions or concerns or trying to figure out the best and the best slip solution for you, I do have a video, check it out. It's like the perfect slip solution or something like that. Everyone is a little bit different. My slip solution might be a little bit more slippery than someone else's. Everyone has a little bit of a preference. So my suggestion is fill up your bottle the exact same amount with water, and then maybe start with like a 5 count. And then your next bottle, fill up the same amount, but then squeeze out like a 4 count, like 1001, 1002, and try to keep it as consistency. Watch the flow of the soap and try to keep it consistent. But go from 5 to 4 to 3. You're gonna get to a point where the slip solution's not sticky enough for you. Like let's say like you get to a 3 count and it's sticking too much and it's not slipping enough, then your count's a 4. So your count could be a 4, others could be a 7. So that's a good way to find your perfect slip solution. And you should go ahead and check out that video also. I get into more depth in regards to how to do it. So I hope the live stream is going good. I hope you guys can see me. I hope you guys can hear me. It looks good on my end from everything I can see here. Again, for those of you guys that are just joining us, my name is Patrick. I'm a window tinter, full-time window tinter instructor and consultant. And this is Window Tinting Business, where we strive to inform, inspire, and improve you as a professional. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. If you're watching the rebroadcast, you can go ahead and click on the blue box that should be like right in this area. And you just click that button and you can be able to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And today we're doing a simple Q&A. We do these live streams every Sunday. So whether it's going to be a general topic that we go over and then we do Q&A afterwards, or I just hop on, we just do some simple Q&A. If you guys have questions in regards to window tinting or the industry, just all you have to do is just shoot it in the comments below. Have you used Armolin? What is that? Armolin? Am I saying that wrong? Totally wrong? What is this? Oh, it's a film. No, I haven't. I didn't even know it existed. Armolan, A-R-M-O-L-A-N. I might just be destroying that name, and I do apologize. No, I've never actually heard of it. Armolan, Middle East, F-Z-C-O. Well, they have 5 stars on Google. I don't know. I just looked it up online right now. I've never heard of them. So I really couldn't tell you how good it is. Jeff H, he says he started using Tint Tack and it's worked great. Yeah, I've heard really good things about Tint Tack. It's hot in here. Give me a second, guys. Oh, that's the light. Is that right? got the light on. It almost looks like a hair light back here. If you guys know what lighting is, then you'll know what I'm talking about here. I'm from Australia, where Arnold Schwarzenegger came from, and also from the same city. Schwarzenegger came from Australia? For some reason I thought he came from Hungary. Have I used Tint Slime? I have not used Tint Slime. Like I said, I just use Johnson Baby Shampoo. There are certain things, certain tools out there that I find in the tinting world. Austria, yes, correct. Maybe that's right, Austria, that's it. I pretty much have used every single window tinting tool out there on the market, from like edge cutters to files. I mean, everything. I give it a shot once and I kind of feel it and see if it's going to be beneficial to me, or if I like it, or if it makes my job a little bit easier. But in regards to Tint Tack or Tint Slime or anything like that, I haven't really used it just because Johnson's has never worked for me. So, I mean, Johnson's has always worked for me. I've never had a problem. I had the pen, now I have the sticky pads. I'm sure you can hear that. That's probably obnoxious. Sorry. Jeff H., have you used GeoShield Films? No, I haven't used GeoShield Films, but a good buddy of mine, Chuck Cochran, I believe he uses GeoShield. The name is very familiar. He is a really good tinter, and I believe he placed second in architectural last year, but he was over at the competition this year too. Really nice guy. I've just met him recently. His business uses GeoShield. He swears by it. And if you do some research, you can find out who manufactures GeoShield. But I hear there's really good stuff. So yeah, if you guys have an opportunity to work with it, go ahead and work with it. Chat's starting to die down a little bit. Looks like we got a few people. We usually have about 15 to 20 people in these live streams, which is good because, I mean, we're at like right at 3,000 subscribers, I believe, but we're right about to break 3,000. So the more subscribers we're going to get, maybe the more full these chats will be, but that's always a good thing if they're not that full anyways. That way, at least you guys get your questions answered. If you are watching the rebroadcast and you guys have some tint topics that you guys want to go over, go ahead and just comment below, and I'll be able to go ahead and see those comments and review which ones we could go over and cover them. Why not? Why not? Where did my chat thing go? Here it is. Alright, got a question here. If you get a crease in the film, can you rectify it? Rectify, or is it best to start again? If it's like a full-on hard crease, here's a great example. So let's say this is window film. Okay, it's just a post-it, but let's just pretend. Okay, and basically a crease is basically when you have basically folded and pinched the film onto itself, and you can probably see it there. If it's a hard crease where it's like, I mean, you can obviously see it, you're not going to be able to work it out. But if and it depends on what you're using. If you're using a hard card and you crease it, most likely you're not going to get that out. But if you're using a Mac Tack, if you're using something softer like a glove, and then going over with a hard card at the very end, it's a different story. If you lightly crease it, what you can do is, the best way to do it is try to get some air. So if you're shrinking and you get a crease, try to get some air underneath the crease, like get it work some air or air bubble underneath the film, and then reapply the heat. And it's going to take less than a second, a half a second to a second. That's all you're going to need, and you'll see it, and you'll see the crease with the air underneath it. and you put some heat on it, and you'll see the crease relax. And once you do that, get it off. Like, you don't want to overheat it and then burn that area. But if it's not too bad of a crease, yes, you can get it out. If it's like a full-on, I mean, like a hard crease, and for those of you guys who are just learning and you guys are just getting into the industry, you're going to learn real quick the difference between a hard crease and then a soft crease. But like I said, a soft crease, you can get it back out. And again, if you are learning and you're doing a back window, and let's say you're starting on the first like bottom quarter, and you get a crease and you're like, oh, this is not going to be perfect. Don't throw that full film away. Keep shrinking the window. You know, as you're new, the only way you're going to get better is if you keep on going. So if you get one crease or two creases, that's fine. Keep shrinking the window the best as you can, and the creases are going to diminish more and more and more and more until one day you're shrinking a back window and you're not even thinking about it, and you look down and there's 0 creases, and then all you have to do is be able to install it correctly. But yeah, as long as you keep on working on it, you're going to be able to get better and better. Okay. So quick question was, how do you do windows without a dot matrix? This is typically in like older trucks, older vans, sometimes like Jeep Cherokees, like the old models. Basically, they didn't have dot matrix. It was basically held in with a rubber seal. What you can do with those, the hand cutting it's more difficult to hand cut. You actually have to, most of the time what you do is you cut bigger than the window, you know, and you hide the edge behind the dot matrix. With cars that don't have dot matrices, what you have to do is you actually have to cut the film smaller. And I see small, like 1/16, no bigger than 1/8. And what people do is that, so you'll have the glass, right? And then you'll have the rubbers. So the rubbers will line up, right? So what you do is like the inside rubber on the edge, the glass edge, what you do is just you trim it just a little bit, right? So then now the inside gasket is showing more glass and has less gasket than the outside, so you can hide the edge behind that. Like, you don't have to do it extreme. I mean, you're talking a little sliver, but you're gonna have to get that. It's kind of a pain in the butt because you have to cut so exact to be able to avoid trash and contamination and a light gap. If you come across a job like that or a gig like that, make sure to charge accordingly, because usually the cars that have those type of windows are older cars, 15, 20 years old, which means it's got 15 to 20 years worth of crap and junk in there. And if that's the case, if you got to take time to clean it, you got to clean those gaskets probably 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times. And every single time, your rag is going to look jet black. It's going to be dirty. But if you don't clean it right, then the film, when you lay the film, it's going to finger, and the finger is going to suck trash up in that finger, moisture and trash in that finger. It's going to look horrible. So that is a little tip. And actually, who has a great video? I don't have a great video for it. I don't actually have a video at all for it. But if you guys go check out Ralph's video, Ralph at Pelt on YouTube, and and he's with Flex Films. Check out his video. He's got a video with a green truck. It's a green older truck, and that one does not have a dot matrix, and he's doing exactly what I'm telling you. He cuts the gaskets just a little bit and lays the film down. He does a great production of that video. So check it out. Ralph Van Pelt, and I believe it's like the older model trucks. I don't know exactly the name of it, but check his videos. He's got a bunch of videos and a lot of good ones. He's made it within the last year, I believe. So check that out. Like the back doors, the little windows, like the quarter windows. Are you talking about the quarter windows? Right again, let me know. Let me know. Looks like we got about 17 people, 16, 17 people in the mix. Welcome to the live stream. If you guys are new, welcome, welcome. Okay. Dave Tipton has a question. Hi, earlier you mentioned that tint film only stretches in one direction, question mark. How do you know which way it stretches? I'm new to the industry, also from the UK. Thanks, Dave. Okay, so, I don't have a, oh, don't move. I'll be right back, bud. All right, I am back, guys. Thank you for waiting there. Okay, so let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. And I told you I work with a number of different lines, a number of different brands. So I just have Johnson here. If you guys can hear, that's my boy. He didn't know I was home, and I'm making a video right now, and now he's losing his marbles because he saw his daddy, and he wants to come say hi to me. Okay, so which direction does film go? So here is, I believe this is a 12-inch roll. I usually use these for sun strips, but this is how a roll comes in. Okay, so you guys have never seen it. There's the core, and here's the film. So if you take the film and you bring it out, right, and you roll it out. Okay, so as you're rolling it out, whether it's a 12-inch, 24-inch, 40-inch, it doesn't matter. As you're rolling it out, this is the direction that you should be shrinking. So this, when I say up and down, this is up and down. Okay, if you guys put your fingers accordingly this way and you're going up and down, they're going to shrink just fine. That's how you shrink. If you try to put your fingers this way, where they're up and down this way, then that's when they're going to bind on you. That's where the film's going to bind on you. So it can only shrink this way, rolling out the window. So if I'm tinting a window and I have a front window, obviously here's the top, here's the bottom. This is the direction that you put the film on. You wouldn't put it this way and try to shrink up and down. You can still do it that way, put it sideways if you're like doing a truck, but you just got to make sure if you have to shrink, you have to go side to side. So that's where the grain of film goes. Up and down is how you shrink. I hope that answered your question, and I'm glad I have film around here so I can actually show you. And this, if you guys have any questions, this was a 24-inch roll, and they cut it down to 12, so you get two 12 inches instead. It's called the chop cut, and different manufacturers call it different things, but this is really handy if you're doing like glare strips or sun strips or whatever you guys call it. People call it different things, but it's more easy to manage and you have less waste doing it this way versus like chopping a glare strip out of like a 36 or a 40-inch roll, because then you got to save that excess and hold on to it, or you just waste it and don't use it. So okay, Joe Evans, you probably get asked this a lot, but what's some tips for people just starting in the industry? Yeah, I get it a lot, but it's okay because that's what this channel is all about. Some tips to get started within the industry. Just getting started. If you're just getting started, do your research. I'm a research kind of guy. I research a lot. I'm live, so I'm like trying to prevent from cursing. But I research a whole bunch. I watched every YouTube video you could possibly imagine. Matt from Tint Stuff. He was like one of the first guys to do window tinting videos, and he's got like 25,000 subscribers or something like that. He hasn't done a video in a few years, but who knows? Maybe he'll come back soon. But he's got about 70 videos, a lot of how-tos, a lot of like one of his like how to install a front window is I think it's like a 3.5 million views. So watch a lot of videos. Ralph Van Pelt's another good one to watch. He does some really great work, and he really shows you and teaches you how to install film in a proper way. And obviously, window tinting business, make sure to watch every single video that I make. Watch it 6-7 times. Don't skip through the promotions or the ads. Just kidding. Do whatever you want. I don't care. And then let's see here. Once you do that, also you can get online and get connected with a lot of forums online. And I think I talked about this last week. I did, but there's a lot of great forums online that you can do. A lot of tinters are on. So let's see here. Window tinting business, obviously that's this one. On Facebook is the one I'm talking about for the forums. These are all going to be on Facebook. So window tinting business, also Window Film League, Car Film Pros, Window Film Revolution. Let's see what else I have here. Window Film Pros also. Tinters of SWFL, Tinters of Southwest Florida. That's another good one also. Buddy of mine runs that one. But they're all really, really good. I will tell you, Window Film Pros is the biggest one. It's got almost 5,000 members in that group. You can ask a lot of questions, and most of the time with majority of these groups, you're going to get a lot of help that are people really that are good tinters and are active within the community, Window Film Pros is the only forum that you're gonna get heat from. For some reason, there's just tinters with bad attitudes out there that don't want other people to learn. They think it's like this is like magic. These are like all secrets that you're not supposed to tell people. But this is why I do this video, because when I tried to learn and there's no one would show me, or they wanted to charge me like, I don't know, they just wanted to charge me an arm and leg, and that's just not something I had. I didn't have the money at the time. But you'll be able to go ahead and network and talk with all these other guys. And what I would suggest, if you're just getting started, get your hands on some film, get your hands on some tools, and just start tinting. Learn, watch the videos, learn as much as you can, take some notes, and make sure to follow the steps correctly. The pen again. But start tinting as many windows as you can. Your window, your girlfriend's window, your family's window, your boyfriend's window, I don't care, whoever your date, your significant other, let's say that. And just start tinting as many windows as you can and do it over and over and over and over again. Max Pro is at like 47 cents a square foot. They'll pretty much sell it to anyone. I just called Max Pro and ordered 2 rolls out of the blue. I had no business or nothing. I was doing everything as a hobby or learning how to do it. Johnson's is a good one. I think they're at 67 cents a square foot. But when you're just learning, get an affordable film. Don't go out and buy 3M, or don't go out and buy Lumar, because you're going to be running through so much film. It's just going to be too costly. It's going to run you up a lot of money. So those are my tips. Research, talk to other tinters, get films, get tools. Tools, go to 44tools.com to get your tools. There's other places like Inner West Tools and GDI, I believe, out of Atlanta. But get your hands on some good tools. Don't go on eBay, don't go on Amazon and buy the tools. They're highly overpriced, and they typically look like the cheap knockoff brands. And just start tinting. And once you feel comfortable, if you want to get into the industry, get a job at a shop. You'll learn leaps and bounds at a shop. Promise you. After a year at a shop, you'll be better than you would imagine. So let's see here. Do you use heat shaping spray on windshields, or do you use them wet? Ooh, Kristen. Let me ask that again. Hold on. The Volkswagen Golf 4-door on the back door, the quarter windows. With those windows, the air racer. With those windows, just cut them as close as you can and minimize the light gaps. Unfortunately, in this industry, sometimes light gaps do happen. If there's no dot matrix, you just have to explain it to people and your customer. You just have to give them realistic expectations. If you have a vehicle like that, just tell them, listen, I'm gonna put it as close as I can, but there's no way for me to tuck the film underneath these gaskets. There is no dot matrix for me to hide the edge. And if I do it too long, it could crease and it could get trash and contamination. And if I do it a little shorter, there might be a light gap, but it'll be a cleaner install. It's kind of the least of two evils. But just be totally transparent with people. Just that way they won't expect perfection if you tell them from the get-go. And if you really can't do the car perfectly, try it, get it in there, see it. But if you can't do it perfectly, then just tell them you can't do it. You know, I've had to do that before. So looks like the Air Racer and Stephen Holl, they're hooking up on the old chat here. It looks like they're going to be friends on Facebook, bringing people together. Joe Evans, I'm glad my videos have helped you. Awesome, keep it up. Keep up the good work, man. I am kind of curious. What are you guys doing currently? Are you guys just doing it as a side job, as a hobby? Are you guys weekend warriors where you're just doing this on the weekends and making some extra scratch? Or are you a full-time window tinter? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know what you guys are doing and how you guys are making your money and how you are in the industry. Looks like we're rolling right at 50 minutes, so I am going to cut this at an hour just because I want to keep it short and sweet and to the point. For you guys that are watching the rebroadcast, you're probably not watching the full hour. You're probably watching like 12 minutes of it and getting off. But also my boy's over next door losing his marbles because he misses his daddy. So, let's see. Okay, B. Johnson at a dealership. Want to get better experience and tackle any car. Good. A dealership will get you experience because you'll still work on more and more cars, the basic fundamentals. The only problem with dealerships, they typically don't let you hand cut. They usually use a plotter, and they do that on purpose because they want to handicap their employees. A dealership is a great place to go and learn how to use a plotter and tint, but you'll never learn how to hand cut because they won't let you. Because they know that once you learn how to hand cut, you'll leave because you'll make more money at a shop. But get that good fundamentals, but don't stay too long at one shop, like one dealership, because if like Nissan is like the easiest thing. You can pop all the seals and they go in and out, and you'll be a rock star at just doing that one brand of car. But then you're going to be like all jumbled, and your confidence is going to go down if you're like working on a Ford or if you're working on a BMW or a Mercedes. So make sure that you're getting all different cars and makes and models. If you're just brand new, don't stick to the ones that you're good at. You gotta tackle the hard ones too. The hard ones for me is the 07, 08 GTI back window, monster window to do. Nope, plotter all day long. That's what I figured. Full time just started a year ago. All right, all right. Alex Ortiz, he's out of San Francisco, California. I love San Francisco, by the way. Love San Francisco. Awesome area. Awesome area. How do you get more customers? Where do you advertise? I do not advertise a lot. Actually, with my side business right now, I work at a shop. If you guys seen it, I work at a shop. My free days are Sundays. That's my only day off, and I'll pick up gigs on Sundays. Like I just went from a gig this morning, and just to make a little extra scratch, just because I love what I do, and it makes I can go out and buy toys or take the old lady out for dinner or something. Just spend the money, have fun with it. I don't advertise a lot. I don't advertise at all, actually. What I do is I do good work, and the only things that I really invest in is I invest in my Facebook page, put up a good Facebook page, show a lot of pictures, and talk to your people, your customers that are doing it. Maybe throw them in a free glare strip or a free sun strip, whatever you guys want to call it, if they go ahead and like your page, because that way you can start building a following and build your clientele that way. I also get a bunch of business cards, and every time I tint a car, whether it be 2 roll-ups or a full car at the very end, after I give them my spiel and how to take care of everything, I'll hand them 4 or 5 business cards and be like, listen, this is how, referrals, referral base is big for me. So if you guys know anyone else that might need my services, pass my card along. I would really appreciate it. And to be honest, that's pretty much all I do. And I get decent business that way. I'm looking to rev up a little bit more, but I'm trying to watch. I'm curious as to how much exposure you can get with the least amount of capital. So let's see here. Okay, Jeff H. Side job. You tinted 40 years ago. Wow. Okay, 40 years ago, the game has completely changed. If you tinted 40 years ago, then it should be easy to tint now because cars were definitely a lot harder back then. Plus, they didn't shrink 40 years ago. I don't even think they shrunk in the 80s. I don't think it was like the 80s or 90s they started shrinking. Before, it was like all like relief cuts and strips. Like they do like 4 or 5 strips on the back window. It was like crazy. Like back in the day. If I was a tinter in the 90s, I probably would have quit. I'll be honest with you. Because it was like the dot matrix was like non-existent, and there was no shrinking or minimal shrinking, and just crazy time back then. Joe Evans was a heavy machinery operator in Arizona, which is super hot in Arizona too, especially if you're working in these. Obviously, why you tinted your windows. Got into window tinting to tint my machine's windows, realized the benefits of window tint, and now I'm transitioning into becoming a full-time tinter. That's good. That's really good. Tint is awesome, especially in Arizona. It's a great market. It's hot. If they're hot, then people want tint. So that's a good thing. Plus, it doesn't like snow like it does in Michigan, where it'll drop like 6 feet in like an hour or something like that. So it won't die down as much like during the slow season. Word of mouth, Jeff H. Yes, word of mouth is huge, big. If you want to get more customers, what I'd probably do is either touch base with dealerships and have dealerships tell them, just be like, listen, I'll be here for you guys. Give me a call. We'll schedule a car. If you need a car or you want to upsell a car, go ahead and do that. And if you guys don't want to work with me, but you want to keep my cards on file and give them to customers who want to get their cars tinted, that's another good way. And get a bunch of dealerships. You don't have to be loyal to just one dealership and hope they give you one car a week. Get 5, 10, 12, 20 dealerships. And that way, if you can do, I did the math the other day. I think at $180 a car, it's like 1.8 cars a day, and you can make $100,000 a year. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of good benefits to the industry. Dave Tipton, he's adding window tinting to his current business, so that's good. That's always an add-on. Dave Tipton, if you guys, I don't know if you guys work with a crew or you work by yourself, but I also do training for exactly this reason, for other businesses that are looking to add window tint. If you're looking for someone to train your crew, you let me know, and we can make it happen. So, all right, guys, we're wrapping up right at an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this at this time. But I really want to appreciate you guys. I see we've had about 15, 16, 20 people in the live stream as we're going on. For you guys who stuck around the whole time, I really do appreciate it. We are going to be back next week, and we're going to be talking over different things. I might actually try some Facebook Live stuff too. So don't miss out. Go on Facebook, check out groups at Window Tinting Business. Join the group. And I might throw some stuff up on there instead, just kind of mess around and see how it works. But thank you again. Thank you guys for watching, and I really appreciate it. And we will see you next week. All right? Thanks, guys. Dave Tipton. Later, brother. Stephen Holl. Have a good one.